It's such a treat to be here. I'm carrying the actual Keeling Curve prize, although it's a little bit broken.
He broke it.
We'll get back to that. It was a bit of a joke when Amy called me. She was trying to get Trevor Noah to do this ceremony, and she got me instead. And then she says to me, and Jackie's riding her bicycle from Salt Lake City. And I'm just like, awesome, this is going to go really well. But it has indeed. Jackie made it all that way. Although it did remind me of the old bike joke, if you know it. What's the joke about bicycles? They are too tired. But Jackie is never tired. She's, without a veil, one of the most amazing people, and we're going to celebrate the work of the Global Warming Mitigation Project, and particularly this Keeling Curve Prize. As the CEO of New Energy Nexus, I've had the privilege over the last half dozen years or so to know many awardees and finalists and people. We've nominated hundreds for it. And it's a really important thing to lift up these entrepreneurs, these people that are trying to create these solutions. And it doesn't sound huge, $50,000. I mean, for some of them, it's very meaningful. But it's also the halo effect and all that the KCP, as we know it, has done for so many of these individuals. That is why it's very exciting tonight to be introducing the finalists and the winners. We're going to announce them. I have little envelopes to open here. But first, I want to introduce properly Jackie Francis, Jacquelyn, as she likes to be called. An incredible wealth of experience and expertise in a background in climate science and a lifelong commitment to environmental stewardship. You just heard it. She doesn't just walk the talk, she rides the bike. She's been instrumental in driving forward this mission to uplift these solutions that Global Warming Mitigation Project sees as necessary, and her dedication and leadership inspire us all, including myself. Jackie, some remarks.
Thank you so much, Danny. And it's just a great honor to be here. And I want to thank Amy and the Sun Valley Forum team and just welcome you all to the award ceremony for the Keeling Curve Prize for 2024. We're really excited to see the winners for this year. I started the Keeling Curve Prize 7 years ago. And so we are now going to be announcing 10 winners this year. And we've announced 60 in the past, the last 6 years, and it's become quite the Keeling Curve family. And I have with me Ruth Metzel, who has been an analyst for me since the beginning, since the first year. And she's kind of like, it's really wonderful to have Ruth here because she's kind of part of this Keeling Curve family and she's watched it grow over the years. And so Ruth works as the Global Restoration Lead at Conservation International. She's driving work to realize the global scaling of ecosystem restoration as a natural climate solutions through leading programs around the world, through leveraging the power of multilateral finance and collaboration with the private sector. Ruth first got involved with the Keeling Curve Prize while she worked for over a decade in Panama to restore tropical dry forests as the executive director and co-founder of Fundación Pro Eco Azoro. But I'm going to say one more thing about Ruth that she doesn't really know. But when we were hiring our first analyst the first year, Ruth was like late in getting her bio in or something like that, and my executive assistant was just like, oh my God, I can't get the bio from this woman. And she got it to me, and I spoke with her, and I called my assistant, and she's like, you're hiring her, aren't you? And I'm like, you betcha, she's awesome. So, Ruth Metzel, thanks for being here.
Yeah. Better late than never.
So now we have a quick video about our organization. And that bike shot wasn't actually me. Okay. So the Keeling Curve Prize, these are the numbers that Danny's going to give you. On the script, it says that I am just letting you know that we have 5 categories for the prize. It was actually designed similar to the Nobel Prize, where we actually took broad categories and are going to pick 2 winners in each category. And our categories are transport and mobility, carbon sinks, and that's both nature-based and engineered, social and cultural pathways, and finance, and then energy. And we look for energy in impoverished areas. And so we designed it that way in order to kind of take a broad spectrum of where climate solutions were going to make the biggest impacts. And what we've done over the years is really try and be inclusive of all kinds of climate solutions. This year we hit our goal of 500 applications. We actually had a lot more than that, and we did a quality control round, and that led to a really strong amount of solutions that have like a high quality, and that's what we're aiming for every year, to have at least 500 solutions that pass a certain quality bar that become eligible for the Keeling Curve Prize. And now I'm going to let Danny talk a little bit about our impacts.
Well, look, I think you can read the stats on the screen, but just to sort of restate the obvious, which is these guys are out there in the world finding and sourcing these incredible solutions. I know from New Energy Nexus's purchase I mentioned, where we invest in and train entrepreneurs, we've backed over 1,000 in the decade or so that I've been there, that it's hard enough to find them, but then to put a little bit of capital in, $50,000 in this case, and have follow-on of $1.3 billion in capital raised by those companies. Obviously, it's hard to draw the cause and effect, but this uplift that Jackie and the team provides to these startups is incredible leverage. You know, this prize helps elevate them to the places where they can go and source other support and capital and training, and it's a real testament. And this sort of rigor that they have around the analytics, which I think Ruth's going to explain in a second, is part of the magic. We really find the best and brightest in the world driving the solutions and send them to the Keeling Curve Prize. Ruth, tell us more.
Yeah, well, I'll just say when I became a KCP analyst, Jackie mentioned I was directing this nonprofit in Panama on the front lines of climate action. And it's very hard work. You know, it's not unlike the work that a lot of our applicants are doing. It's very hard work, and it's easy to feel very alone. And so I just can't express the immense gift that it's been to work with this team of analysts and each year have the opportunity to dive into a pool of just wild and wonderful applications from people all over the world. And I know that collectively we're all lifting the world up into transformative, paradigm-altering change. And you really feel that when you go through this process of reading through all the different solutions. The creativity and hope I hear each year in these applications is what gives me hope that we can really create change. And being able to work with this incredible team of analysts from all over the world, from Jamaica to South Korea, from all kinds of vantage points and backgrounds. We've got people talking AI and climate tech and battery solutions and agroforestry all in the same space to really talk about the merits and evaluate the different applications each year. So it's really thanks to this team on the screen that we're able to go through and effectively evaluate all the different solutions and get them to the judges in time each year. So yeah, it's been wonderful.
Thank you, Ruth. The analyst team are just like, they're my children. I love these guys so much. They do so much work, and they do such a good job. This is a quick snapshot of our judges. They're pretty much recognized climate experts that are in different areas of the industry, and they take the 20 down to the 10. Pretty easy job compared to what the analysts do. So these are our judges. And
we're going to reveal now what 10 they have found after sifting and sorting through those 20. But thank you for explaining the process. Amazing analytics, followed by judging. And just to remind you, because I know I'm between you and drinks, and that's always a dangerous place for an Australian to be, but this is worth sticking around for. We're going to go through the 5 categories: carbon sinks, energy, finance, social and cultural pathways, and transport and mobility. We're going to open an envelope and declare the 2 winners out of 4 who these lovely folk will introduce now.
Okay.
Jacquelyn.
So carbon sinks is our first category. Projects in this category are developing technology and nature-based strategies for capturing and utilizing heat-trapping gases from the air and oceans.
And the finalists are, the first finalist is the Mexican Food Bank Network, which helps locally led food banks across 30 Mexican states connect millions of people to safe, wholesome food while generating carbon credits from its rescue.
Biospora breaks the cycle of land degradation by providing organic fertilizer, biochar, and training to farmers and farming cooperatives across Kenya.
And Peanut Earth, which enables smallholder farmers across Europe to access carbon crediting projects that put climate resiliency of vulnerable forests first.
In Planet enables farmers in the tropics to remove atmospheric CO2 through enhanced rock weathering and shifting towards more sustainable agricultural practices.
And the winners are, drum roll, come on. All right. And the winners are Biosora and In Planet. Oh, did that go up before I said it?
I don't know.
Is anyone in the audience from Biosora or In Planet? We have a few finalists in the crowd, so when we get to one of them, please come on up.
Okay, next up, we have the energy category. Projects in this category are leading the way in the supply, distribution, access, infrastructure, and improvements of low and zero emissions energy systems worldwide.
And the finalists are SoulShare provides cutting-edge technology and services through a globally recognized service platform.
Fungi Life uses fungal biotechnology to reduce the carbon footprint, replace pollutants in extraction, and restore contaminated water and soil in the oil and gas industry.
This was an interesting one, the Fungal Life, because it's part of the transition process.
And not to brag, but 2 of these companies have been through New Energy Nexus. Not that this is biased in any way.
Thank you, Danny. Guam Power improves the reliability of electricity in Nepal while empowering rural communities.
And Climatenza decarbonizes industrial heating to achieve net zero targets by harnessing solar thermal energy.
Woohoo! And the winners are, God, rip the envelope fast enough. Oh, there's nothing in here. The winners are Climatenza Solar and SoulShare. Do you have anyone in the house?
Okay, moving on to finance. Projects in this category are counterbalancing or replacing financial strategies that fail to account for longer-term planetary viability with respect to global warming.
And the finalists are Urgewald, which creates global coal, oil, and gas exit lists to enable hundreds of financial institutions to make data-driven decisions and standards on fossil fuel divestment.
Climatize transforms solar financing and investing to make it more efficient, transparent, and accessible.
Energy Peace Partners, which aims to build sustainable electrification systems to unlock climate finance and promote peace in 30 of the most conflict-affected and climate-vulnerable countries in the world.
Blue Forest brings communities, finance, and science together to restore and protect our forests and watersheds.
So excited for this one because this is where the real innovation is happening in the world, fintech. And the winners are Climatize and Blue Forest. Yeah, Climatize.
Oh.
Here you go. Don't come on down yet.
Not yet.
We're going to get you up for a photo later, is that right?
And I do want to mention that some of these have been finalists before, so this is very exciting to see them
Nice. Woohoo.
bubble up to the top.
So our next category is the category of social and cultural pathways. And I have to say, this is a category that's very near and dear to my heart. I urged us from the beginning. I was like, we have to do the social and cultural pathways. As a scientist, I'm like, what's missing is the social aspect, right? The cultural transformation. So I'm so happy that we have this category. And it also really puts social and cultural pathways in a position to sort of explain how their solution generates emissions reductions or avoidance. And so it's a really exciting category to go through as an analyst. And projects in this category encourage individuals, communities, businesses, and governments to make progress toward emissions reductions and carbon drawdown.
And the finalists are Amazon Sacred Headwaters Alliance. Brings together 30 indigenous nations and aligns NGOs, donors, entrepreneurs, and governments to support their vision to protect 35 million hectares in the Amazon from further industrial-scale resource extraction.
Isla Urbana, which avoids the emissions from supplying water to marginalized, water-stressed communities across Mexico through resilient rainwater harvesting.
Asia Initiatives leverages the power of social capital to promote healthcare, education, improve livelihoods, and sustainable development in underserved communities.
And Subject to Climate, which empowers teachers with free curriculum resources and builds state hubs that respond to educators' stated barriers to their teaching about climate change.
It's so awesome, the spread of things around the globe, isn't it? Just look at that. Awesome. So the winners of this important category are... Thank you, drum roll. Amazon Sacred Headwaters Alliance and Isla Urbana. Yes. Latin America is in the house.
In the
The
house.
final, but not the least.
Transport and mobility, like get here on an electric bike. Projects in this category are reimagining and reinventing all types of vehicles, fuels, and mobility options for both people and products.
And the finalists are, and I gotta say the first finalist is near and dear to my heart as an EV driver. It's Electric, which integrates simple electric charging solutions into urban streets to unlock access to EVs for the millions of historically underserved drivers that rely on curbside parking.
Seabound builds carbon capture equipment for large cargo ships and traps up to 95% of the CO2 from its exhaust.
Vamo, which is transitioning Latin America's motorcycle fleets through developing networks of shared motorcycles and batteries powered by 100% renewable sources.
And Sesame Solar makes renewably powered mobile nanogrids fast to deploy, easy to use, and available anytime, anywhere.
And the winner is... It's Electric and Seabound. So, that is the last of the awardees. Really just want to thank these two again for being up here. Thank Amy and the Sun Valley Forum and this amazing event to host this. And in the future, it will be televised. I mean, this was streamed to the internets, but it will become famous because lifting up the people building the solutions this half decade that we have to do that work, as David Chen was saying, scaling now being the challenge in front of us with fixed solutions and finance to spread the technologies that we've got in hand. We have to work with the tools we have, not something that can be commercialized 20 years from now. That's the game, and KCP is such an important part of celebrating those people and giving us heroes for the future, not just from the past, to have a story of us going forward. So just think it's wonderful that you did this, Amy. Thank you, everyone.